good morning, and welcome to Sunday morning meditation. If you're joining me live, thank you so much for taking this time to spend me now. If you're watching this later, I hope you find it to be a beneficial and meaningful experience. Do no harm is today's meditation topic. Do no harm. As some of you know, I am beginning my second year of the Buddhist chaplaincy program at the Upaya Zen Center. Do no harm is a precept, one of 16 uh, guidelines of how to conduct ourselves in this world. And of course, these are aspirations. It is impossible to do no harm. We find ourselves often in complicated situations where perhaps not harming ourselves ends up creating harm to another person. Killing a mosquito is doing harm. Not taking good care of ourselves is doing harm. An unkind word to a family member, to a stranger, is doing harm. So there are so many ways as we go through our day when we can make a choice. Sometimes a very clear-cut one. Sometimes it's very simple to say, this is the right thing to do. This is where I'll do the least harm, or this is where I can truly do good in the world. And other times, it is very, very difficult to step aside or step away and have a broader view on what may be beneficial to ourselves, to others, and what may not be beneficial. I think another aspect of this is that always when we do harm, we also cause some harm to ourselves. And when we receive harm, that person is also harming themselves, perhaps without awareness, but yet paying a price. If we consider how we're all connected, how interdependent we are, we start recognizing that every action we take influences ourselves and others, and every action that another person takes influences themselves and us as well. And from that perspective, it is important to notice our conduct and behave in a manner that supports us. We hope we hold on to values that are beneficial. Do no harm, doing good in the world, doing good for others. Helps humanity be a better place for all of us. And so, without further ado, I invite you to find yourself a comfortable position, and then gently close your eyes, or if eyes closed is not comfortable, just lower the gaze and find a spot before you. And you could be seated or lying down, whatever is most comfortable for your body today or when you watch it. Soon you'll hear the bell ring, indicating the beginning of today's practice. I invite you to bring your attention to your breath as it is. Notice the breath as it comes in and as it leaves the body. Perhaps you notice it most in the chest, the rising and falling, maybe in the belly. As you bring the attention to the breath, inviting relaxation. Perhaps a deeper breath now, a count of 4. 4 in, a hold, and 4 out. 4 in, a hold, and 4 out. The nervous system comes down with this pattern of breath. You may invite the awareness to notice where your body connects with the surface on which you're lying or sitting, grounding yourself supported by the surface. Another way for inviting relaxation. Notice body releasing any tension. And when thoughts come up, as they do, simply coming back to your breath, to the sensation of where your body connects with the surface on which you're lying or sitting. Take a moment, allow the breath to be as it is, in and out. Soften the face muscles, release the jaws, perhaps invite a gentle parting of the lips, neck and throat opening, releasing, shoulders relaxing, allowing relaxation to move downward in the body, chest and upper back. Each in-breath invites even more relaxation. Each out-breath sends relaxation throughout your body and your mind. Belly, lower back, releasing. Pelvis area, relaxing. And send waves of relaxation down the legs, all the way to the feet, toes releasing, the arch of the foot, relaxing. As we invite the body and mind into relaxation, creating an opportunity for reflection, going inward in this exploration. Thoughts rise, feelings, the natural process of being a human being, taking this time for yourself, a time for reflection in relaxation. I invite you to explore in what ways, small or big, Are you harming yourself? Perhaps substances that you use, maybe the food that you eat, perhaps the relationships that you're in, actions that you take. Take a moment and reflect with loving kindness on the ways in which you are harming yourself. Possibly, this shows itself in the ways you overextend yourself in your professional life, in your personal life. Or maybe it's the opposite, where you underextend yourself in your personal or professional life. Take a moment. Can you see how not taking good care of you, of harming yourself, affects others? Perhaps those that depend on you, that care about you, or maybe in other ways. Contemplate how harming yourself harms others as well. Where do you see the interdependence, the connectedness? How does it show itself? Can you explore situations in which the boundaries are not clear? Perhaps in order to not harm yourself, you end up harming another. Perhaps in those blurred lines that are part of life, when it's not set in black and white, answers come up in reflection. what may be the middle way. Perhaps there isn't one. How do we find a balance between not harming ourselves and not harming others? Is it always possible? Perhaps not. Explore within yourselves. Perhaps there is a need for forgiveness. Forgiveness for the harm you have caused. Forgiveness for the harm that was caused to you. Can you forgive yourself? Can you forgive others? And what can be done differently now and going forward? Can you see more clearly a path that allows you to do more good, recognizing that when you take actions aimed to do good in the world, you're benefiting yourself as well as others, remembering the interdependence of all of us, how deeply we are connected. What can you do differently? Doing good for yourself first. Perhaps it is easier to see it within us, although not so easy to act upon. Take a moment. And I remind you, loving kindness, beating yourself up is harming yourself. Recognizing where and how you can do better is forward movement, a way of doing good in the world. Always returning to the breath, to the sensation of the body where it connects with the surface on which you're lying or sitting, a place of comfort. Perhaps you choose 2 simple things you can do going forward that benefit you, knowing that by doing so you benefit others at times. What is between you and yourself that is capable of changing for the better, so you reduce any harm that you are causing you. And then expand it to your relationships with others, where the lines become more blurred, where choices are less simple and yet reflect, how can this change? Can you see yourself operating differently? Compassionate for the suffering that you see in yourself and around you. And knowing we are all suffering. It is simply part of the human experience. What good can you do? First, for yourself, simple. Perhaps eating cleaner. Maybe letting go of a habit that is not serving you. Perhaps asking for help, for connection when it's needed. Being able to receive help when it's offered. And expanding from the personal good that you're doing for yourself. Expanding and extending outward. Recognizing the good that you're already doing in the world, in small and big ways. For a moment, take note of that. The good that you're doing in the world. A helping hand, a listening ear, perhaps grander than this. Volunteering. Open your heart to what you're already accomplishing for the well-being of others. And notice when you take these actions, How does it make you feel? How does it make you feel? Doing good in the world. Can you extend more of that while taking good care of you? Can you create and invite a balance in your life? With the intention of doing no harm, and then expanding it to doing good for yourself and then for others. With loving kindness, recognizing that often this is complicated without a very clear answer of right or wrong, with a balance that ends up with some good and some harm. And yet, as you are guided by your true intention of doing no harm, of doing good for others, you step on a path of creating a meaningful life, a beneficial one, forgiving the stumbles, the falls, the mishaps, and moving forward. Can you see yourself this way? Waking up in the morning with this intention: do no harm, do good for others. How does it guide your day? What does it invite into your life? Take a moment. And now coming back to the breath, perhaps to the rise and fall of your chest with each breath. Perhaps bringing the awareness to where your body connects with the surface on which you're sitting or lying. And for just a minute, let yourself rest here in the comfort of this sanctuary of your own creation. Soon the bell will sound, indicating the completion of today's practice. And you can stay in reflection and relaxation and bring movement to the body as you go back to your day, to your evening. Thank you for joining me today. Until we meet again. Goodbye.